Welcome to Japan. Today let's explore one of the most famous places in Osaka and in fact quite easily in all of the Japan. It is the Osaka Castle. I will show you the territory around and give you a little bit of history. Let's explore the most visited castle in Osaka. Getting off from the Tanimachi Yonchome station right by the Osaka Museum of History, here's the map of the Osaka Castle Museum and the Osaka Castle Park. Let's head over there. The tall brick building right in front of us is the Osaka Museum of History, or the Ōsaka Rekishi Hakubut-sukan, which was opened in 2003 and stands next to the NHK, or the Nippon Hōsō Kyōkai, the national broadcasting organization in Japan. Anyways, the Osaka Museum of History offers Osaka's rich history dating as far back as when it used to be the capital of Japan in the year of 650. On this open plaza, teenagers were doing tricks on their BMX bikes. It's kind of rare to see this, but check out some of the tricks they did. This brown enclosure is the Hoenzaka iseki, or simply the Hoenzaka warehouse. Standing on the posts, it was built in the 5th century with a Irimoya style roofing with a total of 16 such constructions here. It covers an area of about 90 square meters. This is the open area right outside of the museum. The tall building on the right is the NHK itself. You see the logo there. Just across this street is the castle territory. Arriving at one of the entrances to the territory, let me show you the property around the area. As we come closer to the rails, you are staring right at the impressive stone wall and the inner moat, or the so-called ditch, that is filled with water surrounding the Osaka Castle. Depending on where you are along this body of water, the moat stretches anywhere between 70 to 90 meters in width, or approximately 230 to 295 feet in width. The purpose of this moat was to provide the line of defense for safety and security of the castle. In those days, moats did a great job protecting castles from the enemy infiltration and enemy attacks. An enemy soldier will be reluctant in crossing a moat with their heavy gear, weaponry, and vulnerability to attacks by the castle guards from up above. Now if you look at the wall surrounding the Osaka Castle, it has a lot of stones. In fact, there are over 500,000 of those gigantic stones estimated that have been used in the construction of this wall. The wall is about 20 meters tall, or almost 66 feet high, which is about 5 to 6 story building in the US. That would be pretty hard to climb unless you are a ninja. Heading over across this bridge that's above the moat, we're heading straight for the Otemon Gate. With each step, we're closer and closer to the castle itself. Just look at this grand and massive gate made out of steel. It is as wide as my palm, or almost 8 inches thick, or almost 20 centimeters. Now how impressive is that? Just try breaking through this mighty gate. This right here is another mighty gate called the Otemon Gate. The first thing that jumps are these huge stones that were used to build these walls at this Oteguchi Musagata Square. Going through this gate is just unreal and takes you back in history all the way to the 1400s. This gate looks impenetrable and is designed for strength and security. As you enter, you see the Sengan-Yagura Turret in front of us, which was constructed in 1620 as the strategic location where the warrior monks of the castle hid, which gave them an advantage over incoming enemy troops. This is the side of Taiko-Yagura Turret. As you can see, this is the dry moat protecting the wall right in front of it. The dry moat serves the same purpose as the one with the body of water. It would be very difficult to climb this wall with all the heavy gear of a warrior in those days. I think it would be even cooler if the walls were sloping outward. That way it would almost be certainly impossible to climb it. The sign describing the history of the sites of Minami-Shikirimon Gate and Takio-Yagura Turret. It's difficult for me to imagine how all of this was built with such ginormous rocks and in such perfect unison. Makes you wonder how such structures were accomplished in those days, particularly in the 1400s. The green building on the right is the Shudokan karate training area and the martial arts school, which also utilizes kendo or the Japanese sword fighting techniques. By the way, you can catch these free shuttles to tour the area around the castle, but I prefer walking to experience the true scales of the territory, if you will. Anyways, the Shudokan here also teaches the kobudo, which is a traditional Okinawan karate with specialized weapons. There's an incredible amount of history and I cannot wait to check out the Osaka Castle up front, so let's go ahead and make our way in so that we can get a little closer to it. Heading over across the bridge that is right across the Shudokan, it is one of the two bridges to the castle across the moat, the other one being the Gokuraku-Bashi bridge on the other side of the castle. This is the Sakura Gate leading to the Honmaru or the Inner Bailey, with the original gate being destroyed in the summer siege of 1615 and rebuilt in 1626. It was then destroyed in the Civil War of 1868 and rebuilt in 1969. These walls are made from the Taiko-ishi or the octopus stone, aka the drum rock. The big building on the right is the Miraiza, which is a souvenir store and a food area. Finally, notice the castle in the distance. For a small fee, you can dress up as a samurai, arm yourself with a sword, and take a picture. The Osaka Castle, which has been reconstructed, was originally built in 1583 by Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who was a samurai, a daimyo or a feudal lord in the early Meiji period and a politician in the late Sengoku period. The reconstruction of the castle was due to the fact that in 1665 the castle was struck by lightning and burned completely down. During the final phase of the Sengoku period, known as the Azuchi Momoyama period from 1568 to 1600, the Osaka Castle played a major unification role of the 16th century in Japan. Standing in line, a ticket to enter the castle costs 600 Japanese yen or about 558 United States dollars. The castle is easily accessible and of course it is open to the public. It gets very pretty here during the cherry blossom season and it's not too crowded. The whole territory is very spread out, so I suggest dedicating a full day to the exploration. As you go up the stairs, you'll see this little well, which I will talk about later after we tour the inside of the castle. As you go up, doesn't it look majestic? Look at the Japanese flag waving around. By the way, unfortunately I could not film inside most of the enclosed parts of the castle as that there are signs prohibiting you from doing so. The very top of the castle looks like this, and you get to enjoy the spectacular view of Osaka. Inside, there are a total of 8 floors with some type of exhibit on each floor. The total height of the structure is about 192 feet or about 59 meters. The castle was in use between 1583 and 1845 for 262 years.
Osaka Castle.
Maybe so you can drop stuff. Looking directly down, you see the green roof, which is part of the castle. You can also see the moat and a few boats taking a stroll. The city view is astounding with so many skyscrapers. It is no wonder that Osaka is the 3rd largest city in all of the Japan by the population count, after Tokyo being the 1st and Yokohama being the 3rd. Progressing further along the top, you can actually make a complete 360 degrees loop around the whole observation deck platform while gazing at the panoramic view in the distance. Fortunately for us today, it was not so packed. They even have this map of the panorama, which is a little hard to see. On the roof, you can eat. What is that? Oh, it's our train. Heading around this corner, let me show you what's outside. The big brown field is the Otemon water distribution plant, which is a reservoir built in 1895. Now, it is a modern water supply facility. From here, it looks just like any other field. In the distance, the circular green roof structure is the Osaka-jo Hall, built for sports and concerts, and on the right of it, it is the Osaka-jo baseball field. The blue skyscraper on the left is the 157 meters or about 515 feet Crystal Tower. As you look around, notice the green roofs and the architectural designs. There's a unique pattern just like this all over. What looks like a goldfish sits at the tip of the roofs. Now you might ask why the green roofs and what is so special about these green tiles. Well, it is the current design that was chosen by the Toyotomi. Remember, he was the original builder of the castle. I think the color makes the castle stand out. By the way, inside the castle there are a lot of ancient artifacts, visual historical series that you can enjoy, different historically depicted holograms, and a lot of historic items on display like swords, costumes of the warriors, and many prototypes of the construction area during the Sengoku period. The goldfish you saw on the roofs is this one, and is one of the examples inside the castle that you can see. Like I said, unfortunately you cannot film most of the area inside here. Exiting the castle there's the cannon pointing south that's next to the flag. The little roofed structure is the Kimeya-sui well, and the actual area we're standing at is the small castle tower block. Going along one of the walls, notice how ginormous the rocks are at the base. At this time I want to check out the Kimeisui well roof because your ground level is actually at the very top of the well, as you will shortly see. The well was constructed in 1626 by the Tokugawa shogunate, which if you remember is the feudal military government during the Edo period. Edo period lasted from the 1600 to the 1868. Now going closer you can see there's a wooden net, probably to prevent you from falling in. But if you look inside you can actually see some water and lots of coins that tourists dropped. So if you are in this area, I would highly recommend visiting the inside of the castle for mere 600 yen. I think the experience will be well worth it. As we were heading down and out, we met a couple of people who claimed they are from the Japanese Buddhist Temple. It just didn't feel right for me to go tea tasting. Judge for yourself.
We are from Japanese Buddhist Temple.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
we are practicing Japanese tea ceremony on weekends. Yeah, and as we are practicing, we need a guest to try our matcha. Yeah,
delicious.
yeah. We invite overseas visitors to try Japanese culture.
Oh.
Yeah, it's free of charge.
Where?
Oh, when?
Yeah, today it's happening now.
Where?
Yeah, we came here our temple car. Yeah, and it takes only 5 minutes by car
okay.
to go to the temple. And after you enjoy Japanese tea ceremony, you can go back to. We take you anywhere you want to go back.
They did seem friendly and nice, but being skeptical, I do like to research more about a business before jumping into somebody's car. Anyways, being on a tight schedule, I have no regrets about it. The outdoor area surrounding the castle is truly spectacular. There's the city in the background, the moat, and the historic castle all in one place. By the way, this is a great spot for a picture. This castle, which is also the main tower, is astonishing and sits on an impressive 15 acres, which is about 61,000 square meters or about 657,000 square feet. All of these structures and towers are of the significant importance to the Japanese culture and hence the reason it was restored and preserved. Now, at one of the end sides of the main territories of the main tower, I saw a few boats in the moat which looked like they were covered in gold. This is one of the boats. building on the right is the Miraiza. Built in 1931, it served as the headquarters to the No. 4 Division of the Imperial Japanese Army. Now, there are multiple souvenir shops and coffee shops inside the Miraiza, but the most impressive is the rooftop cafe that you can enjoy. The little gardens with plants and flowers are also neat. Bowing once and then entering through one of the torii gates, which is located right across the bridge that we used to enter the castle territory, you will find a few different shrines, statues and other things. Of course, the first thing you want to do is wash your hands and mouth to purify yourself at the Temizuya or Chozuya. After that, you can proceed to the territory and shrines. The first thing we noticed is the 5.2 meters or 17 feet bronze statue of the great Toyotomi Hideyoshi holding a sword. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Toyotomi originally built the Osaka Castle in 1583. Going through the second magnificent torii gate, we enter the territory of the Hokoku-Jinja Shrine, or simply Hokoku Shrine in front of us. This shrine was built in honor of Toyotomi in 1879. The emperor of the 12th year of the Meiji ordered to build it. Originally, it was built at the Nakona-shima as a Yamazaki no Hana, but later moved to the location you see here in 1961. As we progress forward, it is no surprise that you see the ema, which are little wooden plaques where you would write your wishes and prayers. Once you do, you leave them hanging up here when eventually they are burnt in rituals at special events, hopefully granting that wish. In this area you can also find the Shiratama Shrine and the Shinto Shrine, among other different things. Heading northeast from the shrine, there's another torii gate. Notice that you would see the torii gates at all of the possible entrances to the Shinto shrine, and once you do pass through one of these gates, you transition from the mundane state to the sacred state of your surroundings. Exiting the main castle territory, let's slowly make our way out as the Japanese sun beautifully sets itself into the night. Notice the reddish illuminations on the rocks that make these walls even more beautiful and historic. The moat reflects the light, and so are the buildings in the distance. The night is peaceful as we walk through history. An area to pray, worship and sit in silence. One of the reasons I love Japan so much is that there are so many quiet places like these to sit, worship, collect your thoughts and ponder upon anything you want. With such a great population of Japan, I think it's incredible how silent and peaceful it could get around areas like these. Before we depart, take one last glimpse of this incredible piece of history. Spectacular. Little chilly already, but
We had a nice time at Osaka Castle today.
very nice time. Visited our 7 floors, I think.
8 floors.
8 floors minus which floor they didn't have.
6.
The 6th floor was missing, which is typical in Japan. Lots of beautiful views, nice day, great food, amazing people. This is the Gangi-zaka Slope, and the area is very beautiful with a park and the Cheyenne playground on the right side. Finally, we got all the way to the Aoyamon Gate and ready to exit. Like I said, the Osaka Castle territory is vast and it will sure take you over a day to explore the whole thing. There's just so much to see here, and of course, while we didn't have time to look at every single thing, we did look at the main destination points. Overall, I think this trip was breathtaking and I highly recommend visiting the Osaka Castle if you are in Osaka, as that it is a very easy trip to get here. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more awesome videos, then make sure to follow, subscribe, like, and of course hit that bell down below so that you do not miss any of my new content. See you in my next video.